Did that really just happen? Was that really Charlotte?
Hey, I'm Sapphire. Want to hear something scary?
You can find instructions all over the internet for countless games much like this one, and each set of instructions is always prefaced with the same warning: do not play this game, which makes hardcore thrill seekers even more inclined to play. Like Caitlin, who played the game with a group of friends and didn't follow all the rules. Last summer, when Caitlin was 13, her friends were wondering what they could do for fun. One of her friends suggested the one-man hide-and-seek challenge. Caitlin was a bit hesitant. She'd heard of the game before and knew that it could potentially be dangerous. But everyone else was on board, so she reluctantly agreed. One night, they met up at a park at 8 p.m. Together, the 5 friends walked to a nearby abandoned house that had been empty for years. There was dirty wallpaper hanging low from the walls and bits of glass and wood covering the floor. The house had a very heavy atmosphere. Caitlin was sure her friends could sense it too, but were putting on a brave face. They stopped in what appeared to be the living room, and her friend pulled out her backpack with all the supplies. Nail clippers, a piece of red thread, a sewing needle, a bag of uncooked rice, scissors, a bucket, bottles of water, salt, and of course, the doll. Caitlin couldn't even look at the doll without getting shivers. It was one of those old ones that looked like a real baby, except it only had one eye. Then they began to prepare the game. First, they cut open the doll and filled it with the rice. In most Asian cultures, uncooked rice is believed to attract spirits. Then, they each clipped a fingernail and placed it inside the doll. This step binds you to it. Next, they sew the doll back up with a red thread, which represents blood vessels. They filled the bucket with water and submerged the doll. They each turned around and counted to 10. Then they took turns stabbing the doll with the scissors, repeating, "I found you, Charlotte. You're it." 3 times. I found you, Charlotte. By giving the doll a name, it makes the spirit stronger. And now, the game had begun. Everyone bolted and split into 2 groups. Caitlin and one other friend ran up the stairs and found a closet to hide in, where they sat in silence for what felt like hours. It was starting to look like their suspicions were correct, and this game was just a bunch of... That's when they heard very light footsteps coming up the stairs. The footsteps grew louder and louder, closer and closer, with each step accompanied by a metal scrape. The sounds stopped right outside of the closet. They covered their mouths to muffle their breathing. Caitlin felt a sharp pain on her foot. She screamed and pulled her foot back and saw the scissors sliding from side to side underneath the door. They screamed and prayed and pleaded it for it to stop. Silence. Did that really just happen? Was that really Charlotte? Or was it one of their friends playing a prank on them? When they finally composed themselves, they opened the door. No one was there, and they didn't want to stick around long enough to see if they were wrong. They ran out of the house and back to their meeting spot at the park, where their other friends were already waiting. If they were playing a trick on them, could they have possibly run back here before them? When did you get here? A while ago. We thought we heard footsteps coming down the hallway, so we jumped out a window and ran here as fast as we could. So, you've been here the whole time? You weren't playing a prank on us? No. Why? What happened? As Caitlin and her friend explained what they had just gone through, everyone was in shock. But now that they were out of the house, they figured they were safe, and the doll couldn't hurt them. Unfortunately, they were wrong. You see, there were a few rules that they had forgotten to follow. The only proper way to end the game is to pour salt water on the doll when it finds you. But Caitlin and her friends ran out of the house before they could do that. So Charlotte still thinks they're playing. And one day, she's gonna find them.
You're it!
Want some Snarled swag? Head on over to our website at snarled.com. Want to see something scary live? Check out the video in the description below for more information on how you can demand your city. A very special thank you to Caitlin in England for sharing her experience with me, and I hope everyone watching is discouraged from playing this game. But if you have already tried it, let me know what happened in the comments. Again, I do not recommend you play this game, but if you do, I claim no responsibility for what happens. If you're summoning spirits and don't know exactly what you're doing, you can invite something very dangerous into your life. Like this video if it gave you the chills, and don't forget to subscribe to Snarled and our sister channels Hissy Fit and Slay Tricks. If you or anyone you know have any unique paranormal experiences, DM me on Instagram and I might feature your story. Even if it doesn't fit in with the current theme, it might fit one in the future. And I do my best to read and respond to everybody, so please be patient with me. Until next time, sweet dreams.